Good morning, you guys. So we're going to be talking a lot about trademarks today, specifically the history of trademarks. The goal of today is to make sure that you guys will understand the different types of trademarks when looking at them later. You guys will be quizzed on this. It's only going to be 3 questions, so just make sure you're paying attention a little bit. Okay, so when looking at trademarks, this is a perfect example. So it says that trademarks were used to identify the origin and the content of the products. Hallmark comes from the identification marks that metal artisans stamped into metal. So this picture next to it, it says that the image shows the mark of Hester Bateman, who registered in 1761. Miss Bateman, a silversmith of household silverware in London, used her initials along with the standard hallmarks, the crown signifying a tax paid to the crown, a lion, which identifies the type of metal, which was sterling silver, and the H is a date letter, which notes the year of the production. So as we can see, those are all right there, which is really interesting. So mass production and trademarks really go hand in hand because as mass production really started to rise in the 18th century, which is when Industrial Revolution really hit, which is factories were making more and more products. It was just so much easier. That's when trademarks started to really take a rise as well, because large companies wanted to be able to tell where things came from, especially if they were shipping far away. So for instance, let's say there's a company in England that's shipping to something in America. They just wanted to have that trademark to be able to identify that, oh, that's that product. And a lot of people that are big on brands, like many of you, like your brand items, having that trademark would let people know, like status, oh, you have that from there, like, ooh, that's really special. So trademarks really helped to anchor that brand and that status. Okay, so now we're talking about the Trademark Act in 1875. So this established like modern day trademarks of today. In order to have a big company that has a trademark, you have to make sure it's registered as a commercial trademark. So this is where people get their worth out of their trademarks, and it's how people are able to identify them. And that whole brand thing that I was talking about in the earlier slide, this is where all that kind of comes and ties together. The very first use and the very first registered trademark was the Bass Red Triangle. It was one of the most historically significant logos and brands in the world, and when it was purchased by Coors, they actually dropped the red triangle, which is really interesting and kind of sad. So yeah. All right, so now we're into our terminology portion. This is going to be the part that's mainly being tested on in the little mini quiz, so please be paying attention. It says that trademarks can be used alone or combined into configurations. These are the most common terminologies used for the elements. So we've got the logo type or word mark, and this is if it's strictly type. That means if it's strictly words that's just being played with. So for instance, we have our Pinterest one. If you guys are really into Pinterest, you also know that there is a symbol for Pinterest, but for these purposes alone, we're going to just look at its logo type or word mark. Then it says if only an image is being used, then it equals a symbol or a logo. So if we look over here, we have our Apple symbol. This is extremely identifiable. It's on everything that they create, and it's one that we know very quickly. So this is a symbol or a logo, and this would be used as this is just an image being used. So that's why it would be considered a symbol or a logo. Looking over here, then we have a combination of a symbol and a logo type. So this is if it's just both the logo type and the symbol being combined into this one, and this one's called a signature. So we have the Microsoft one here that has both its image and its logo type. So if it doesn't have both, then it's not a signature. Most of these do have also a word that goes along with it, or logo type that goes along with it, as well as a symbol, but it needs to have both in the actual image to be considered a signature. Okay, That can be a little bit confusing, especially because if we know the brand so well. For instance, Nike has both a word and a logotype and a symbol, but they need to be together in the actual image to be considered a signature. Okay? So please don't let that trip you up on our little mini quiz. That's it for today, you guys. Just make sure you complete the little mini quiz, and then you guys are finished. You guys are doing so fantastic, and I'm so proud of all of you. And I hope you guys are all doing really, really well during these crazy times. If you guys just want to check in and like go onto Google Hangouts and just say, hey, what's up? You're welcome to. I'll be on there, and so will Miss Dickinson. So yeah, that's it. Bye, guys.